Good day, dear educators, and welcome to the master classes for kindergarten, grade 1, 4, and 7 teachers across all learning areas. We are thrilled to have each one of you join us today. We hope you enjoyed the opening program streamed by DepEd Philippines. It was truly an inspiring kickoff that set the tone for the enriching sessions ahead of us today. As we near end November, and with December just around the corner, there is undeniable excitement in the air. The festive season brings with it the happiest of vibes, and we hope that this energy fuel your passion to learn and grow even more as educators. Thank you for being here and investing your time in your professional development. Together, let us make this masterclass series an unforgettable journey of learning, collaboration, and inspiration. The school's division of Davao City is very honored to contribute to this nationwide endeavor for our dear teachers by hosting the masterclass for Arling Panlipunan. Magandang umaga, Pilipinas, mula sa aming mga Davaoenos. Meanwhile, this training for teachers is streamed simultaneously with the other divisions who have partnered with NAYAP in delivering master classes to our public and private school teachers in the entire country for free. DepEd Central Office for Mathematics, SDO Mandaluyong City for Filipino, SDO Quezon City for English, SDO Makati City for Science, SDO Antipolo City for TLE or EPP, SDO Cebu City for MAPE, SDO Davao City for Araling Panlipunan, SDO Panabo City for ESP or Values Education, and SDO Mandaue City for Grade 1 or Kindergarten. At this juncture, let us take a moment to ensure that everyone is all set for a smooth and enjoyable experience. And as we gather here virtually, it is important that we stay connected and engaged, not just in the learning, but also in making sure we have all the best experience possible. So, master classmates, allow me to share a few quick reminders to help us navigate today's online space with ease. Let us make sure we are all ready for a productive and seamless session. For the reminders, for our daily attendance, please ensure that your name and PR participants must complete the daily evaluation form provided at the end of each session. The morning group has until 12 midnight to submit, while afternoon group can submit until 12 noon in the next day. Our PMT will be delighted to read in-depth thoughts, so participants are encouraged to expound on their answers. Here is a quick instructional video on how our daily evaluation will transpire.
Proper education according to standards, highlighting NAYAP's dedication to maintaining high-quality education aligned with national or international benchmarks. But beyond these acronyms, the true essence of NAYAP, the National Educators Academy of the Philippines, lies in its unwavering commitment to the professional growth of teachers and school leaders in our country. Sa loob ng maraming taon,
to the participants' registered emails within 2 weeks after the submission of all the required outputs and documents. Compliance reminder. Participants who do not complete the required outputs will not receive a certificate of masterclass. Collaboration expertise opportunity. Participants are encouraged to share the topics from the masterclass at the school level to earn a certificate of recognition through the collaborative expertise. This involves facilitation sessions with the selected teachers. And now the time has arrived for the moment we've all been eagerly anticipating. It is time to introduce our esteemed resource person for today. We are truly privileged to welcome someone who not only excels in the field, but also deeply committed to inspiring growth and progress in education. Dr. Carlino G. Santos Jr. is an assistant professor of the Philippine Normal University, North Luzon, Alicia Isabela. He is under the Faculty of Teacher Development, particularly in Social Science program, while serving as a guidance counselor and coordinator for student welfare services of the Student Affairs and Services Unit, or SASU. He is a licensed professional teacher and a registered guidance counselor at the Department of Education. He is a licensed professional teacher and a registered guidance counselor for his employment at PNUL, and he worked as a guidance counselor at Department of Education, particularly in Doña Aurora National High School, Aurora, Isabela. He taught basic theology, psychology courses, and high school values education subjects at the University of St. Louis, Tuguegarao City. He also worked as college instructor and university registrar while teaching social sciences under the general program. He was an instructor of the Social Science Department of the College of Arts and Sciences of Wesleyan University, Philippines, Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija. He finished his Doctor of Philosophy in Education, major in Educational Management at Our Lady of Pilar College, Cauayan City, Isabela. He finished Master of Arts in Education in Guidance Counseling at the University of La Salette Incorporated, Santiago City. He also obtained his Master of Science in Teaching, major in Social Studies at St. Paul University, Philippines, Tuguegarao City, Cagayan. He took up Bachelor of Arts, major in Psychology at Wesleyan University, Philippines, Cabanatuan City, Nueva Ecija. He has been invited as a resource speaker in the following areas: mental health, gender and development, values education, managing relationship, child protection, and other psychology-related subjects. He attended various local, national, and international trainings, seminars, workshops, and conferences associated to his field of specialization as part of his commitment to continuously improve his professional knowledge and skills. Without further ado, let us give a warm welcome to our resource person who will be illuminating his wisdom and expertise today. Let us all send a big virtual round of applause to Dr. Carlino G. Santos Jr. to kick off this delightful session.
Thank you, ma'am, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. Allow me to share my screen. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Loud and clear.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, So this is your master class for grade level 7, Araling Panlipunan. Our topic this morning in this session is holistic education, the role of integrative approaches in enhancing Araling Panlipunan 7 learners' competencies. Part of the session is to look for uh, the PPST and what standard or standards are we addressing through this session. And we have under PPST Domain 1, Content, Knowledge, and Pedagogy. And we also have PPST Domain 3, Diversity of Learners. Session objectives at the end of the session. Araling Panlipunan grade 7 teachers are expected to discuss the rudiments of holistic education, recognize the significance of integrative approaches in teaching, apply holistic strategies in teaching Araling Panlipunan. Okay, before we proceed, let's have, we also have the session flow, sorry. We have the introduction of the topic, the PPST, session objectives. We shall have later on the activity, analysis, abstraction, and application. Okay, now, I'd like you to answer this question and please write your answer in the comment section of this FB Live session. The question is, how do you feel today? These are just some, These are just some descriptions. If you have other descriptions, you may write there in the comment section. I'll be reading some, later on I'll be reading, and some are still writing. I'm actually streaming live in our FB page. I'm looking in the live, in the FB page live, looking for your answers. So please answer the question, how do you feel today? Are you calm? Are you happy? Are you angry? Are you sad, sick, frightened? Or do you have other feelings this morning? Okay, so Sir Lawrence answered, calm. Okay, the first one that I saw here. What about the others? Please answer. I'm waiting. I'm giving you 5 minutes to do that because the others are still connecting with us. So isa pa lang ang nakita kong sumagot. Hello, are you there? I think it's also my way of checking or looking into if you are, or checking, if you are participating or if you are there, listening to our session this morning. May I also have the answers of the other participants? Hello? Okay, Ma'am Melody answered, calm. Okay. I saw two, to answer so far. What about the others? Are you there? How do you feel today? Okay. Ma'am Angelica answered. We have three. Okay, Ma'am Angelica. We have Sky, Ma'am Sky. Okay, what about the others? So we got how many? 4, 5 responses. I'm waiting for the others. I'm actually devoting 5 minutes for this activity. So please do answer. Okay, calm, Ma'am Mai. Thank you. And Ma'am Elaine, yes. Ma'am Rose, thank you. Who else? We are happy, Ma'am Marcel. Okay. Okay, who else? Calm. Ma'am Regine. Okay. Okay, calm. I hope the others will also be participating later on in the other uh, activities. Okay, thank you so much for your uh, responses. So let's continue. Why is it important to be aware of our feelings? What do you think is the reason or are the reason? Why? Emotional awareness help us know what we need and want or don't want. So we really need to look into how we really feel. It helps us build better relationships. That's because being aware of our emotions can help us talk about feelings more clearly, avoid or resolve conflicts better, and move past difficult feelings more easily. And emotional awareness is the first step towards building emotional intelligence, a skill that can help people succeed in life. So Panlipunan, in teaching Araling Panlipunan, we don't just teach the content. In this Matatag curriculum, um, what is being emphasized here is to look into what we call now holistic education, the application of holistic education. And we can do that if we include, if we include the different aspects of life. And emotional aspect is just one of the aspects that we need to consider if we want to develop our students holistically. That's why emotions also play a great role in the teaching and learning process. Actually, at the beginning of your class, if you ask your students how they feel and they're expressing their feelings, if some students are not in good mood, you have the chance now to help the students to be what? To set the mood for the class, to listen, because you know already the feeling of that particular student. So before we continue with our discussion, we have here some questions that you need to uh, think, no? You need to consider while listening to me. Number one, as Araling Panlipunan teachers, how can you create a classroom culture that encourages collaboration and holistic education among students? Number two, how do you maximize the integration of experiential learning activities in increasing the students' engagement and retention of knowledge in Araling Panlipunan 7? And number three, in your respective areas, what are the challenges that you may possibly encounter in implementing integrative learning strategies in teaching Araling Panlipunan? How can you address these challenges in your own way, considering your abilities and resources? So while listening to me, okay, try to look for the answers of this question. So let's continue now our discussion. What is, let's proceed to abstraction. What is holistic education? Hmm? Holistic education concept. This is a philosophy educating the whole person beyond core academics. It means when we teach Araling Panlipunan, we don't just focus on the content. We look into the other aspects of life in line with the topic that or lesson that we are discussing in class. Because holistic education is a comprehensive approach to teaching where educators seek to address the emotional, social, ethical, and academic needs of students in an integrated learning format. It means in one topic, we may include these aspects in the discussions. Because the goal of holistic education is to cultivate a developing child's physical, emotional, moral, psychological, and spiritual attributes. Lessons, okay? Lessons are in a holistic environment, no? A holistic education environment. Lessons are conducted in a safe, supported environment that allows the student to utilize their individual strength. And teachers must be prepared to nurture students with varying educational levels and learning capabilities. Because holistic education is an approach to learning which focuses on all aspects of an individual, all aspects, rather than just, take note of this, rather than just their academic or intellectual development. Academics or intellectual development is still included in holistic education. But we don't just focus on academics or the cognitive aspect. We have to integrate other aspects of development in our lesson, even if it is araling panlipunan. So, one of the fundamental key principles of holistic education presents learning as something that should be relevant and meaningful to students. You know, they always say if you're going to ask students, no, if they love before our subject before when I was in high school, we call it Philippine history. And when you ask them about Philippine history, the answer usually they will give you an answer. Oh, how do you love Philippine history? And they would usually give you the answer, no, it's boring. Why boring? It's because it's hard for them to see its relevance to their own lives. Now, in the Matatag curriculum, it is being emphasized that we should look into the meanings, no? Not just the content, but how meaningful is a particular topic in line with the other aspects of human beings. And we should look into its relevance to their lives. Sometimes students do not listen, students do not really focus on a particular subject matter because they cannot see, okay, its relevance. They cannot see that there is meaning in what they are doing. That's why you, as Araling Panlipunan teachers, it's very important for you to put meaning to it. Try to integrate its relevance to their lives. I'm sorry. Another crucial aspect of the stitching method is that it places a strong emphasis on, I'm sorry, before what? Okay, sorry for that. Another crucial aspect of the stitching method is that it places a strong emphasis on creativity and critical thinking. Because you, as Araling Panlipunan teachers, you will help them develop this by looking into how these topics in Araling Punlipunan are connected to their lives. Or you may guide them. So later on, we will have some strategies, no, that you can use how to guide them and help them develop creativity and critical thinking skills. Okay. Okay, let's proceed to holistic teaching strategy. In holistic teaching strategies, we have to remember the role of a teacher, and the teacher plays a crucial role of a facilitator. In the 21st century education, we know and we are all aware that the role now of a teacher, the major role is a facilitator. So you facilitate learning. You are not just the source of learning, but you are also facilitate how these students can learn on their own. And teachers, part of the holistic education, teachers are trained to create supportive and stimulating learning environment where students feel safe to take risks and freely express themselves. So, there are various teaching strategies within holistic education that can be implemented in the classroom. Okay? What are those? We have here number one, strong student-teacher relationships. So you need to develop a strong student-teacher relationships. Educators need to be aware and observant of their students' personal growth to foster and support their development. You need to know, okay, their strengths and weaknesses. Because by creating a trusting rapport with the student, which has a positive impact on learning as it increases the student's motivation, boosts performance, and elevates success rates. That's why relationship is very important. Even your presence, no, as you enter the class, okay, how do you deal with them? What kind of teacher are you when you are inside the class discussing lessons in Araling Panlipunan? If what you are creating is an environment with what do you call this, fear, or you're very strict and students can even tell what they or share what they are thinking, well, that is not a good environment. In teaching Araling Panlipunan now, especially the matatag curriculum, it is being emphasized that we need to develop critical thinking skills of our students. We have to be open-minded as well. And sometimes, even in my class, no, I even allow my students to question sometimes what I am teaching. Okay? I even allow my students sometimes to go against what I am explaining. But I ask them why. And when they are going against you, they are not really against you, no? It means they are thinking. But I just emphasize, okay, it's okay to go against me or to tell you your thoughts against my thoughts, but be sure to do that in a respectful manner. In that case, you are actually integrating values, no? That you can say other thoughts other than your thoughts. They can share it with you, but they still need to be respectful along the process. So you are actually doing holistic education already and integration. At-risk students have a higher chance of success when they feel safe and nurtured. And those who are teaching Araling Panlipunan for a long period of time, for those who are teaching in the public school for a long period of time, I think you are aware of this. that if students, they feel that they are safe inside their class, okay, they will move on, they will continue, and they will become successful in the future. Because in a nurturing environment that feels safe, they are more capable of trusting others and being more open with their peers, as well as engaging with more committed responsibility within the classroom. That's why relationship is very important for you to develop good relationship, no, with your student, so that you can actually help them attain holistic education. This goes hand in hand with encouragement and recognizing the student's unique strengths. By focusing lessons on realistic and relevant issues in the students' lives, you can actually utilize their personal issues in your discussion in some of the topics, no, in some of the topics in Araling Panlipunan. And you can emphasize on their strengths. You know what? It's good to focus on the strengths rather than on their weaknesses. You can actually, if you are aware of the strength, you can actually use their strengths for them to do more, to do more, to become better students in your class. So another teaching strategy that you can do in class, a holistic teaching strategy, is encouraging self-confidence. Education is not solely about academia, and students need to be able to believe that beyond the scope of the school, they have the ability to. Okay, that's why by it's because by recognizing students' unique strengths and personalities, teachers can enhance and modify their lessons to make them specific to the students' lives and focus on realistic issues. Teaching them how to overcome these issues by encouraging self confidence. As I said a while ago, you can utilize these strengths for them to become more engaging and active in your class. And I think you are all aware of this. This is in relation to the practice of using multiple intelligences in teaching. Okay, you consider all the intelligences of your students, and in giving activities, okay, you also consider those skills that they have. Another strategy is incorporating emotional reflection. By encouraging emotional reflection in daily routines, teachers are able to provide students with moments of emotional reflection, meditation, and contemplation. Teachers can act as a mirror within the class by focusing on the students' emotional and mental well-being. I don't know if you observe this in your class, but if a particular student is experiencing mental health concerns or emotional concerns, you will notice that immediately, right? You will notice that immediately. And the performance sometimes of that particular student or the behavior of that particular student is also affected, or the attitude of that student in at that particular moment is also affected. That's why, like our activity this morning, asking you, how do you feel today? You can do that as well as part of looking into or giving consideration to what they feel. by introducing time for reflection or mindfulness within the classroom. An example of this could be 5 minutes of meditation a day or reflecting and debating on current issues. You can do this. I do this sometimes in my class. If you cannot do this every day, at least once a week or every other day, you just ask your students to stand and be quiet and just be aware of what's happening within them. It's actually one way of developing their mindfulness. And if you develop this, you know what? They will become very conscious of the things that are happening around them. So they can think more and they can participate more and they can even um, become active or more active. Sometimes that's our problem. No, we are not mindful of things that we do. But if you keep on doing this every day, students will attain or will gain this kind of a skill. I consider it as a skill, no, because not all of us are mindful of the things that we are doing. And this is very important, no, part of, as I said, holistic education. And then, with their emotion, you try to find an innovative way of channeling their emotions, such as what are the things that you can ask them to do? Learning to channel rage into creativity. You ask them to write a poem. You ask them uh, to write uh, what? To write an essay. To express their happiness through an essay. Okay? Or compose a song. Okay? You can, or now I think you know more, no, you know more, or your students are actually very creative, especially during the pandemic. So you can actually think of other ways on how to what do you call this, to help your students show their um, creativity. Okay, so what are the benefits of holistic education? Why do we need to utilize this in teaching Araling Panlipunan? We can observe the benefits of this teaching approach, such as emotional intelligence. Because as I said, you don't just focus on one aspect. So when you are focusing on the other aspects, you are also helping students to develop their emotional intelligence, confidence. In holistic education, what you do is usually you try to increase students' engagement. So they will interact with each other. Interacting with each other, experiencing conflict with one another, and many other situations, okay, through the activities that you will do in class, in your Araling Kalipunan class, you are actually helping them develop their emotional intelligence, their confidence, social ability, their social skills, how to interact with others. Because remember, when you are giving group activities, they talk to one another, they prepare, what else? They try to research and many other skills, no, or skills are being enhanced through group activities. Because what is being emphasized in the 21st century education also is collaboration. And in collaboration, you do group activities. And in doing group activities, you are actually doing holistic education, applying holistic education. Compassion. Sometimes for those who are not participating, what is happening to them? You ask them, what's the problem? And then also fine and gross motor coordination for those with physical. This is in relation to physical aspect. Responsibility, because in a group activity, you have a leader, You have the members. The members, they have their own role to perform. So you're teaching them responsibility, creativity. Sometimes you just give them the task without giving the detailed process, and then you ask your students to present that in a creative manner. Then self-agency, they manage. No, in their practices, you are not always there, but they can manage to practice. They can manage to handle their classmates, the members of the group, and they manage also to develop their teamwork skills. Because as they say in the 21st century education, and even in the 21st century, if you do not know how to work with the team, well, you will encounter a lot of problems. That's why we are now teaching as early as high school, we are now teaching them these skills in order for them to be able to cope with the challenges in the 21st century. And also self awareness. Self awareness is very important. You know, you have to be aware of your strengths, of your weaknesses, of the things that you can do and the things that you cannot. Because your self awareness will help you what to do next, will help you in planning, in making your goal. Okay? I hope you're learning something in this session. Before we continue, may I just ask, let us see if you are still there listening to me. Okay, so far, what are your takeaways? In one word, in a phrase, you type in our in the comment section. I'll be reading some. Sige, I'll be waiting for those who will type their takeaway so far. What have you learned so far? May I see? Please type your responses in the comment section. Hello? Collaboration, okay, from Ma'am Ryan. Mhm. Still waiting for the others to type in their takeaway so far. What about the others? Importance of emotional development from Sir Antonio. Thank you. From Ma'am Izzy, holistic education. The benefits of holistic education, Ma'am Lunaline Lisa. Okay, thank you. I learned that we should consider the emotional state. Yes, from Ma'am Chona. Thank you. Thank you so much. Holistic education, importance of holistic education. Okay, using compassion and teamwork, the benefits of holistic education. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now, let us now continue. The goal of holistic education, how can we uh, do it? We can do it, or you can actually do it. Wait, are we going to continue now, or we'll have what time is it? I think we have a schedule for break.
Or
Sir?
Carlina,
Yeah?
I believe we have gained so much learning from your talk, and we will have a short health break, 10-minute
Okay.
uninterrupted break before you proceed to your next session.
Thank you.
The The festive season is upon us, bringing with it the spirit of joy, hope, and giving. This Yuletide season, we in the National Educators Academy of the Philippines are delighted to share with you a special present. One that does not come wrapped in glittering papers or tucked under a bushy tree, but rather a gift of knowledge, growth, and innovation. Ergo, allow us to invite you to unwrap this gift of learning through our master classes for kindergarten and grades 1, 4, and 7 teachers across all learning areas. This nationwide endeavor aims to support teachers by providing the relevant skills and knowledge to effectively implement the Department of Education's revised curriculum and incessantly improve student learning outcomes. Join the whole country and let us make this holiday season even more meaningful together. Whether you are a seasoned mentor or a teacher just starting out, these virtual engagements are our way of saying thank you for your passion, perseverance, and unwavering dedication to the present and future of our Filipino learners. Maligayang Pasko, mga gurong Pilipino! Ako si Director Jennifer Lopez ng National Educators Academy of the Philippines na nag-aanyaya sa inyo na kami ay samahan sa isang linggo ng walang maliw na dalisaya ng dunong at pandaya ng kakayahan para sa ating mga bata at sintang bayan. Maging isa sa ating master classmates ngayong Nobyembre 25 hanggang 29. Tara na! Ang NAEAP bilang isang acronym ay nagtataglay ng napakaraming kahulugan at posibilidad. NAEAP can mean nurturing educators' abilities and professionalism, emphasizing the team's mission to develop teacher skills and build their confidence in the profession. Or national excellence in academic performance, where NAEAP aims to uplift the quality of education by ensuring that teachers are fully equipped to foster outstanding student achievements. Or navigating educational adaptations and progress, focusing on NAEAP's role in guiding teachers through the evolving landscape of education, especially in embracing new teaching methods and technologies. Or in Filipino, nararapat na edukasyong ayon sa pamantayan, which translates to proper education according to standards, highlighting NAEAP's dedication to maintaining high-quality education aligned with national or international benchmarks. But beyond these acronyms, the true essence of NAEAP, the National Educators Academy of the Philippines, lies in its unwavering commitment to the professional growth of teachers and school leaders in our country. Sa loob ng maraming taon, nanguna ang NAEAP sa pagbibigay suporta sa mga guro sa pamamagitan ng dekalidad ng mga programa gaya ng subject content training programs, master classes, scholarships, for teachers at school leaders at maging sa school-based professional development activities. Whether it is through upskilling teachers and school leaders with innovative strategies, helping them adapt to the latest educational trends, or fostering a community of continuous learning, NAYAP has been ensuring that our teachers are not just prepared, but are also motivated to give their best in every classroom.
We're back with our masterclass for Araling Panlipunan. Before we continue with the second part of today's session and move on to the next segment, we will be asking, we are encouraging you to please pay attention because Dr. Carlino has prepared so much for us. And don't forget to like, share our video, and also like DepEd Davao City page. Sir Carlino?
Thank you, ma'am. Let us now continue. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So the goal of holistic education is for us to utilize integrative approaches. Integrative approaches is actually um, the main role of integrated approaches is to promote holistic education. So we need to use these approaches in order for us to attain holistic education. So let's try to define what is integration. When we say to integrate, it means to coordinate, to blend, or bring together separate parts into a functioning, unified, and harmonious whole. Okay? So you see the word into a functioning. It means, okay, we use integration for us to become well-rounded individuals. Because we don't just function based on academics or cognitive aspect. Okay? We have other aspects of our lives that we need to enhance and improve. And through integration or these integrative approaches, we can use this in our lessons in Araling Panlipunan. Or when we discuss our lessons in Araling Panlipunan, we use holistic education through these integrative approaches. According to McNeil, curricular integration assists students to identify the link. So as teachers of Araling Panlipunan, you can actually help them or guide them identify the links, not only between ideas and processes within a single field, but also between ideas and processes in separate fields and in the world outside of the school. Remember, in our previous discussion, I told you that we need to see meaning or relevance in the things that we do. And students will really focus on something if they see the relevance of that particular activity to their lives. That's why it is very important to integrate and use the different aspects of our lives and even other disciplines and learning areas for them to be able to appreciate life as a whole in line with Araling Panlipunan. I don't know if some Araling Panlipunan teachers are doing this, but every time I teach, even in other courses or subjects, I always tell them, I teach not just the content, but I teach about life. And I usually try to associate any course, any subject, any topic. I try to look into something that is related or connected to their experiences so that they can see meaning on it, on that particular topic, or they can see uh, relevance to their lives. Okay, so we have here the definition of integrative teaching strategies. Integrative teaching strategies entail merging academic courses to educate around a particular issue, hoping that students will learn more when they understand how the topic ties to other curriculum sections. It is a method in which learners use existing information and experiences to supplement new knowledge and experiences. Take note of the term. In integrative teaching strategy in holistic education, supplement new knowledge and experiences. It means you're going to utilize the existing knowledge. You're going to utilize or you're going to ask their experiences and try to relate their experiences to the topic or to the lesson in Araling Panlipunan that you are presenting in your class. The idea behind integrative learning is that students take ownership of their knowledge. And you are aware of this, no? Kind of approach, constructivism, no? Developing into critical inquirers. We don't take note of this in Matatag curriculum. We don't develop passive learners. We want active learners. And active learners, they are critical inquirers. They ask questions. They see connection. They can relate, or they know how to relate the lesson to their lives, capable of making meaningful connections between disciplines and applying critical thinking to real world situations. When we try to connect to something, we are actually applying our critical thinking skill. When we try to see the importance of what we are learning in Araling Panlipunan, and then connect it with our lives, that is already critical thinking. And when they ask questions, some teachers say they don't want the students to ask questions. And when we ask questions, that's actually critical thinking. It means they are thinking. Huh? Maybe your question is, what if their question is not in line with the topic? That's your road as a teacher. How are you going to help them attain a proper way of, or a way of asking questions in line with the topic that you are teaching? Okay? Integrative learning requires students to actively participate in projects that employ real-life scenarios and problem-solving abilities. Like, for example, you can ask their experiences in their community. If your topic is about politics, for example, you can relate that to how they observe the barangay officials in their particular areas, respective areas, right? And you can actually use that experience to relate to the topic on politics. According to the research of Milankovic, Gavanov et al. In 2022, titled, "Is the integrative teaching approach beneficial for learning?" They concluded that integrative teaching approach has contributed to better quantity of the acquired knowledge. It increases the quantity of knowledge because you are relating that to the other aspects of their lives. And the application of this approach contributes to knowledge retention. They remember more. If we use integrative learning, they will remember. It's knowledge retention. And that is already a research output in 2022. So we have a basis why we are asking you to integrate or to use holistic education through integrative teaching approaches. So we have the categorical ways to integrate curriculum. How are we going to do it? How are we going to integrate? Okay. So the integration of knowledge and skills can be categorized according to three main types of curricular connections. Some of you are aware of this, but as we say, this is a master class. If you are aware, it's about time for you to master the idea. So you are in a master class. Within one subject, between two or more subjects, beyond the subjects. So these are your ways or ways to integrate, no, Araling Panlipunan, okay, into the other curricula, or to connect to other areas So we have the first one. The first one within subject areas, and we call that intra. It's within. You know the meaning of intra, no? It's within. Intradisciplinary approach involves an arrangement of the knowledge and skills within one subject area. So when we integrate, it's not just the knowledge that we are integrating, we also integrate through the skills that they can learn in the process of integration. Okay? Example, I have here an example. In learning, this example is, the topic is about nationalism. This will be your topic in the curriculum guide for Araling Panlipunan 7. This is nationalism is your topic for the third quarter. It's for the third quarter. Students may be assigned to look for some issues on nationalism and present their ideas through debate. Now, in the process of preparation, you are actually helping these students develop their other skills. So you are integrating with them. Like research, of course, before you can say something about nationalism, you have to research about that. After finding materials, you need to read. After reading, because in a debate you have members in a group, okay? So you are working on that as a group. So you are what? Trying to discuss with your group mates about what you have researched, about what you have read. That's a speaking skill. And when your other group mates or other members of the group will contest what you're saying, it means that member is listening. And when you contest, it means you do understand what he is saying or what he or she is saying. After that, you finalize your major points. You write it down. Then, you present your ideas in class. The process actually involves critical thinking because you research, you read, you talk about it with your group mates, you listen to one another. Now, when you present, your classmates will also listen to you. And they can actually develop the classmates of your students. I'm sorry, it seems that I'm referring to you as students. Sorry for that. And you can actually ask your students to listen to their classmates delivering or presenting the debate. I did this in my ethics class. Ethics is my ethics class. And I don't use debate. You know what I asked them to do? I asked them to present their ideas through balagtasan, or in Ilocano, we have, I don't know if you have Ilocanos here, bukanegan. Okay, bukanegan. So, I showed them some examples of balagtasan and bukanegan from YouTube. Then I asked them to do the same. Okay, they present an issue, an ethical issue, and they will present that through balagtasan in Filipino, or bukanegan, it's in Ilocano. Okay? So creativity is there, no? Creativity is there. You can see creativity. Okay? And the way they present it, the way they write, okay? They organize, no? It involves critical thinking, the organization of ideas. Okay? So that's what we call intradisciplinary approach. Let's proceed to the next approach. We call it between subject areas. Okay, so we have also between subject areas. Subject areas are independent of one another. In this approach, teachers deliberately coordinate the timing and delivery of related topics, but they make no attempt to synthesize or draw together different subject area perspectives. So in multidisciplinary approach, you have to coordinate with the other subject teachers under the same section, under the same section to coordinate and try to use their topics or the skill that that particular subject area is developing to araling panlipunan. Example, I'll give you an example. An English teacher is teaching the process of writing an essay. So, as araling panlipunan, what you can do is, for example, at the moment, and your topic is nationalism, so the students in the same section, they are learning the process of writing an essay. As araling panlipunan, you can actually utilize that skill and ask them to write an essay about nationalism. See? So that's integration already. As we said, you don't have to what to deliberately coordinate. You don't have to synthesize it. What you are just using is that you're using the skill that they learned in English with their English teacher, the skill in writing, and then you apply it to your, you use that skill in your, in Araling Panlipunan by asking your student to write an essay about nationalism. So proper coordination with the other subject areas, no, is needed. Okay, I hope you're learning. Next, we also have interdisciplinary approach. It's still under between subject areas. Connects the interdependent knowledge and skills from more than one subject area to examine a central theme, issue, problem, topic, or experience. It is a holistic approach that expresses linkages, interdisciplinary. So example of this, using freedom, still part of a third quarter, no, in Araling Panlipunan. Using freedom as a main topic for discussion in Araling Panlipunan 7. Students, in explaining freedom, you may ask students to research or utilize philosophy, psychology, sociology, or ethics as perspectives in understanding its meaning and significance. So you can actually group the class, no, or divide the class into different groups, and then ask them to explain freedom in the context of philosophy, freedom in the context of psychology, freedom in the context of sociology, using those lens, no, the lens of sociology or ethics. In that manner, you are already integrating, okay, the Araling Panlipunan lesson to other disciplines. Okay? And beyond subject areas. We also have beyond subject areas. We call it the transdisciplinary approach. Places the characteristics, needs, interests, and personal learning processes of students at the forefront of the learning experience. So you have to consider their needs, their interests, in short, you're going to consider their individuality. A student engaged in independent projects which aim to develop initiative, imagination and creativity, research skills, analysis and synthesis skills, and autonomy. So you may ask them to create a project in line with your topic in Araling Panlipunan. You can do that during the, for example, this is an example, the fourth quarter, for example, because they will be presenting or they will be doing an advocacy, okay, in the fourth grading. This is an example. Araling Panlipunan grade 7 students work and collaborate in drafting a freedom charter that outlines what freedom means to them within the context of their national identity. The involvement of students in defining freedom allows them to take ownership of the concept and explore its implication in their lives. They can also include their experiences in their respective communities. So, in that manner, you are actually enhancing, okay, their initial, because you're going to ask them about their their experiences in their respective communities. So they may ask their barangay officials. That's already a research. No? It's research. They are asking their barangay officials. Okay? And they analyze the answers. They look for other materials in the internet. They do it on their own. That's autonomy. They analyze the materials and then they synthesize until they come up with a project, the Freedom Charter. Okay? Before we proceed to the next part, siguro, because that's the application part. Sige, later on na. I'll give you now the application. You have an assignment to do actually. So let's go to the last part, which is the application. I have here an example, and I have a template that I can share later on with you. It's just an example. It's just a suggestion. You may create another template or deviate from the template. You create your own. As I said, this is just an example, and I'm just giving you this as to show how we're going to utilize holistic education or integrative approaches in teaching Araling Panlipunan. So here's the example. So I created 4 columns. We have the learning competency. I got this from the curriculum guide in Araling Panlipunan 7. We have the topic, the classroom activity. This is the topic for the first week of the 3rd quarter. Now, in the integration, you remember, in holistic education, we integrate in many ways. We can integrate using the aspects of an individual. We can integrate using the skills, okay, that they learn from other areas. And we can also integrate using discipline, in this various disciplines. In this example, I utilize aspects, but you can actually, instead of aspects here, you can use other disciplines like psychology. Instead of emotional aspect, you can put it there. You can change processing question based on other disciplines. So you can put it there, psychology, using the lens of psychology, using the lens of sociology, using the lens of but if you're going to look into the different aspects of life, you are actually touching the different disciplines, like emotions, that's related to psychology, moral aspect related to ethics, social aspect related to sociology, spiritual aspect to religion. You see? So even if you're going to use aspects, so when you are teaching Araling Panlipunan, you can create questions that will help them enhance or to think about themselves, no? And enhance the learning competency using processing questions based on In my example, aspects of an individual, other learning areas, or other disciplines. So this is an example which you can do. And with this, I think even if you're not going to prepare like this, just keep in mind that when you are discussing about nationalism, I can integrate pala emotion here. I can integrate morality here. I can integrate sociology while I'm discussing nationalism. I hope you get my point. Like for example here, in my example, as part of the application, the learning competency is na ipaliliwanag ang sumusunod na konsepto, nasyonalismo, kasarinlan, pagkabansa. The topic is nationalism, kasarinlan, pagkabansa. And you need to think of classroom activity. I did not present classroom activities or options for you because sometimes most teachers, they create their own classroom activities that are appropriate to the level or to the skills or to the abilities or capabilities of their students. So in this manner, okay, the activity that they need to do, actually, part of their performance standard is, ano yun, isang pagtatanghal ang nakalagay doon na dapat gawin nila pagkatapos ng quarter 3. So, magtatanghal sila. So, ang isang sample ko dito, they can do role play. Okay? So, they present that. Role play, take note. When we ask them to do an activity, it should be, the content should be related to the topic, related to the learning competency, related to the performance standard. Okay? So in the role play, the main topic would be about nationalism, kasarinlan, and pagkabansa. Then, okay, they present that in class. Okay? They present the role play in class. Ngayon nga, medyo makabago. Tama po ba? Alam niyo ang ginagawa namin ngayon, nag-create ang mga bata ngayon, napakagaling. Nag-create pa sila ng mga, ang tawag dito, parang pelikula. Mini pelikula na ang ginagawa nila ngayon. Magagaling ng mga bata, kasi magaling pa sila mag-edit. And napalabas mo sa klase yon. So that's big innovative, no? They create short film about nationalism. Okay? And then, from there, as a teacher, ano ang gagawin mo ngayon? Pagkatapos nilang manood, you have to prepare your questions. You have to prepare your processing questions. Palagi naman natin sinasabi yan, no? When we ask our students to do something, an activity, at the end, we have to process what happened. Hindi lang, may iba kasi, nagpagawa lang, grinidan lang, tapos na, no. You can utilize. So sabi nga natin, di ba, ano ba ang ginagawa natin dito? You have to enhance, no? Using integrative approaches, enhance Araling Panlipunan 7 learners' competencies. And you can enhance that if you maximize the classroom activity and use that classroom activity to integrate to the other aspects of the individual, other disciplines, or other learning areas. Okay? So, take note isa lang ang gagawin nila, role play lang. Pero, pwede mo makita ang mga bagay na ito. So, these are examples of the questions. Like, from the role play na napanood ng mga bata or ginawa, take note, these questions can be asked both dun sa mismong gumawa ng role play, they can process it during the preparation and during the presentation of the role play. And you can also ask those who watch because they also experience the role play because they were there when you presented it. Okay? So in the emotional aspect, you ask them, do your feelings of loyalty to your country influence your attitudes towards other cultures and nations? Justify your answer. Okay. Emotion, you talk about feeling. Moral aspect, how does your nationalist sentiment promote or hinder social justice in your country? And then social aspect, And the movements for independence lead to changes in community dynamics and social structures? Explain your answer. Then the spiritual part. Take note, when we talk about the spirituality, we don't just refer to religion, no? Spirituality may refer to your sense of purpose. Okay? Looking for meanings in your life. So we can integrate spirituality, although in the public school we say na dapat ay tawag dito, uh, hindi religion yung focus, kundi spirituality, magkaiba naman yun. No? Okay? And we don't usually impose when we are teaching, no, we don't impose our religion, except for those who are teaching in the Catholic schools or in other, uh, call this, schools under various denominations or Christian denominations. Okay, spiritual aspect, the pursuit of independence can be seen as a spiritual journey for individuals. Okay, because it's about nationalism, about kasarinlan, pagkabansa. Do you agree or disagree to this statement? Elaborate your answer. You see, in the question, you are actually helping them develop what? Critical thinking skill in the question. Although on your part as a teacher, it's also challenging but I know you have naman. So, because you will also prepare the question. So, you must also be thinking critically in preparing your questions and be sure that based on the questions that you formulate, you help these students, okay, develop their own critical thinking skill and also help them to become creative. So in answering, okay, you are not just thinking critically, but sometimes you are creative, no? You become creative in the sense that in your way of answering, you try to show that your concept is logical, okay, acceptable, right? Okay. So actually, this will be your assignment sana, no? You can do it. You may do it. This is just a suggestion. You will prepare something like this. I actually prepared the template. I'll just send the template and send it to you perhaps by the team, by the NAIAP team, and you can use it, but you can change it. So here's the template that I created. Same with the example that I've given you, but supposed to be you're going to look for other learning competency in the curriculum guide and other topics, and then you prepare your processing questions. Okay? Now, before we go to the Q&A, I'd like to ask you, no, your takeaways in this session. What have you learned so far? Okay, I'll be asking the help of our host to read your takeaways. Okay, before we proceed to the Q&A. Okay? So you may write there your takes. What have you learned in this session? Because that's the end of our session. Maraming salamat po. Okay? Thank you.
Let's give a
Now,
warm of applause for our resource speaker, Dr. Carlino G. Santos Jr. Maraming salamat po, sir. We are very much thankful for gracing us this morning's session and for also generously sharing your expertise and insights with us today. Your time and knowledge have been invaluable, and we deeply appreciate your contribution for making today's session meaningful. So let's give time around 5 to 10 minutes for our participants to write down their key takeaways in our comment section, and we will be reading them one by one later on. And for the meantime, we would like to remind our participants that our daily attendance will be based from our daily evaluation. And also for your daily evaluation for CPD units, please do not forget to generously provide your reflection in our reflection portion in our evaluation form. And also for your certificate of participation, do not forget to write down correctly your details, especially your registered emails, because 2 weeks from this session, we will be submitting your certification. And for compliance participation, please attach your outputs, because no outputs, no certificates. And for collaborative expertise opportunity, this session can be conducted by our principals, head teachers, master teachers until January 30, 2025. So let's see, we see here key takeaways from our participants. Allow me to read them, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
It's coming from Ma'am Emeline Bacale Maglinte. I've learned that the integration between your co-teacher subject is very important to incorporate students' learning. Salamat po, ma'am. Another is the importance of integration to develop critical thinking of the students. And for those teachers, they also mentioned that they've learned different approaches. They've learned that it is proper and it is good to integrate AP7 in different learning areas. For learning to be holistic, learners should be able to integrate Araling Panlipunan to the other subject areas. That's from Naoj Villafuerte. Also, another takeaway from Sir EJ Talamo, integrative approach of teaching learning process is very important to engage meaningful learning. They are very much thankful to Dr. Carlino because they've learned that integrative learning activity and holistic education is very crucial in learners' development. From Ma'am Jessa Mandanas, be creative in planning and executing the lesson so we can develop our students holistically. And also from Ethel Masangkay Marasigan, she said, integrative teaching will help knowledge retention. And another importance of integration in the subject, we should integrate our lesson to real-life situation to make more engaging in teaching and learning process, to make it more meaningful. We're not just learning here with our heads, but we are doing it with our hands and with our hearts. From Nervi, we should integrate our lesson. Yes, the importance of integration to AP and to other fields because every lesson is interconnected. Thank you so much, sir, according to Ma'am Hanan Tana Deron. From Sir Helicami Vic Anthony, I have learned different disciplines in integrating Aralpan. To continue from Ma'am Arlene Sam, that we should integrate to current issues the topic we discussed for the learners to develop their critical thinking skills, applying it to our real-life situation. From a Mary Ann Nazareno Fahilagmago, integration plays an important role in holistic development of our students. Eto kay Sir Christopher, parang mahaba-haba to. He listed a number of takeaways. From Sir Christopher Labong, Dhaka Timban, the different teaching strategies, intradisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, and transdisciplinary approach. Ang dami nun. And from Ma'am Debbie Abaniel, OMAC, Jenson, integration of knowledge and skills yung na-learn niya. Marami-rami pa to, sir, but we'd like to read them from our participants. We'd like to hear their thoughts about the discussion. To continue, Ma'am Novi Gandulpos S. Medina, she said, I have learned about holistic education that it encompasses the emotional, social, ethical, and academic needs in an integrated learning format. So we are touching here not just academics, but including emotional, social, and ethical. From Ma'am Jing Jing, different approaches in integrative teaching strategies. From Ann Lin, Experiential learning and integrative approach are important tools in teaching Araling Panlipunan, especially in grade 7 students, now that they are transitioning to the junior high school level from elementary level. From Pamela Camille Robles, integration helps the teaching learning process more meaningful. From Ma'am Rosie Ganayo Tapayan, I learned different approaches and different integration to other disciplines. To add, Ma'am Denden Adami Madiyo said, integrative approach in teaching and learning ang Araling Panlipunan. From Ma'am Jaira Pastillero naman, integrative learning strategies encourage students to see the importance of life. That's the very important importance of life. They've come to realize that one. Integrating our lesson. From Ma'am Marjeline Andrade Fermilan Estrellas, importance of integration in different areas. From Ma'am Grace Davina, the different approaches that can help our students be more participative and active. Ma'am Sylvain Manzano Ranches Mangaha said, I learned about emotional awareness, role of teacher, and various teaching strategies. From Sir San, this is from a school's account, San Jose National High School INB. Integrative approach helps ease the task of the learners focusing on performance tasks with 2 or more subjects collaborating. This also motivates learners to do their best because 2 or more subjects are integrated with just 1 per performance task. From Sir Marwin Bautista Kasuga naman, integrating lessons effectively is a key component of modern teaching strategies. I have learned about the importance of integrative approach. According to Sir Martin naman, I learned that holistic learning entails critical thinking as an important tool for teachers, especially in dealing with diverse learners. Ma'am Gertrude's Blando naman, she raised her appreciation to Sir. I've learned a lot, Sir, especially the different approaches. Thank you for sharing your expertise. God bless. We have so much comments here, but we'd like to hear the hearts and the thoughts of our participants. So I believe that we are all learning in the comments of our participants. They are actively participating, and we are very grateful for your time with us this morning. To continue, we have Ma'am Dina Galfo Season. I have learned that integrative learning aims toward active learning, which is important in applying critical thinking skills. From Ma'am Judy Lynn Pangilinan, importance of integration and emotional preparedness of the students to learn. Ma'am Hanan naman, very informative lessons about integrative approaches. Thank you so much po. From Ma'am Estrella Badar, the importance of integrative teaching strategies to enhance the teaching-learning process in Araling Panlipunan area. Ma'am Alona Panonce Flores commented, I have learned more about holistic education and integration of different teaching strategies. Thank you very much and God bless. Sir Felix Berto Ventures naman shared that very nice critical thinking, holistic topic, very challenging. So, Sir Felix took it quite a challenge for us to integrate the Araling Panlipunan subject to different learning areas. But we are attacking it in a holistic approach, targeting not just one subject area, but different other learning areas. From Ma'am Annie Grace Ornaiz, Florida, I learned meaningful and importance of different strategies in teaching. Thank you, sir, with all the heart emoji and the round of applause. From Julian Celebio naman, I have learned the importance of integration to develop critical thinking of the students and different approaches in Araling Panlipunan 7. To add, Ma'am Jenny Aberdi said, integration is a must, especially in Araling Panlipunan, in order for us teacher to know the feeling and emotion of our students. Not only we teach them, but also touching their lives. I've learned about the importance of integration in teaching learning process. And I've learned that through incorporation of emotional reflection leads to positive and conducive teaching learning process from Ma'am Jenny Lynn. To add up, Ma'am Michelle said, integrative teaching enables the teacher to explore their teaching capacities across learning areas. And also, Ma'am Gabs Young School said, I learned the importance of integration in teaching subject and importance of knowing the emotion of each learner to have successful teaching learning process. So it seems that to sum up all the comments, it's better if we touch the hearts and emotions of our students so that they will find real meaning and they will do meaningful tasks in relation to Araling Panlipunan Grade 7 subject. To continue, Ma'am Liza Perez said, I've learned the importance of application of different integrative approach for the holistic development of our learners. I think it's just right to read the comments because I believe this is from the bottom of the hearts of our participants. So to continue, Ma'am Cheryl Jane shared that I learned that an integrative approach for teaching AP can be a helpful way to instill them in the minds of our learners the values and impact of the lesson in their lives. If you could see, Dr. Carlino, we have so much comments in the comment section, and they're very much appreciative of your lesson for today's session. And now we move on to the question and answer session of today's session. So if you have questions or clarifications with regard to the talk of Dr. Carlino about holistic education, the role of integrative approach in enhancing Araling Panlipunan 7 learners' competencies, please don't hesitate to raise your questions and clarifications. Just comment in our comment section below.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Thank you, ma'am, for reading the comments, and they are still writing their
Yes, it seems that
feedback there. Thank you so much for sharing also your thoughts. Okay, and you know what? Giving feedback, just to emphasize, giving feedback also helps your students to what? To do more, right? So your feedback is also helping me now at the moment for me to perhaps to do more and to share more, to not just with you but to other groups or other individuals or other professionals. I am really delighted, no? I'm happy to hear all your comments about my presentation this morning. Actually, the challenge now is for you to apply what you've learned in this session. Because that's what we need to remove actually the stigma. What is that stigma, no? That when we teach Araling Panlipunan, it's a boring course. We always say that. And our mission as Araling Panlipunan teachers is to remove that concept that Araling Panlipunan is boring. And we can only do that if we apply holistic education and integrative learning approaches. And they will appreciate that. There was a time I also taught Philippine history, no? And I made another approach of that. Instead of trying to discuss all the dates, the names, the places and everything at that time, what I did, I just, I actually presented Philippine history in a narrative form. It's like nagkukwento. Nagkukwento ako kung ano ang nangyari nung panahon na yon, lalo-lalo na yung panahon, nung nagtuturo ako ng Rizal, yung panahon ni Rizal, paano nagbago ang pananaw ng mga tao, ano ang nangyayari sa paligid ng mga panahon na yun. At isa-isa naming tinitignan sa mga pagbabagong nangyari sa panahon na yun. Ano ang pwede nating makuha or matutunan? At hindi lang matutunan sa panahon na yon, ano ang mga maaari nating magawa o mai-apply sa kasalukuyan nating panahon. Doon nagkakaroon siya ng meaning. Like yung mga struggles ni Rizal nung nasa abroad siya. Anong matutunan mo doon? Resiliency. Diba? Diba? Management of emotion, papasok nito. Bakit? Si Rizal, close siya sa family niya, pero malayo siya, pero nakayanan niya. Yung iba hindi nila kaya mapalayo sa kanilang mga minamahal. So marami tayong pwedeng makuha doon gamit ang holistic education. Nagle-lecture yata ako ulit. Bagong lesson ba ito? Sige. May tanong na ba, ma'am? Pwede tayo magpatuloy? May mga tanong na po ba kayo? Na kaya kong sagutin. Pag di ko kaya, hindi ko pa sagutin. Meron na po.
So far, sir, wala pang questions, but teachers are still sharing their thoughts about the discussion. So it seems that
we can
they've got the
we can
concept of your
repass
discussion and they appreciate your discussion. And it's clear to them what holistic education is for them with your talk. Do we still have questions there, sir?
Or are we going to continue reading the comments? Some comments?
It seems that
Wala
their
na
question is a way, their comments is a way of sharing their thoughts, and perhaps they are sharing their takeaways, and they have no question, but would like to read the comments, further comments, sir. Would you like to do it, sir?
Okay.
Would you like to have it? Okay. Let me
Okay, ma'am.
continue.
Go ahead.
Let's continue with comments. Holistic education is very important to students since that it helps to the development of students in different aspects. That's from Ma'am Lily Escopalao Monserrate. From Ma'am Teresita Bacol Aspirin naman, she shared, integration of Araling Palipunan is important because it helps students make connections between different areas of knowledge, critical thinking skills, and apply what they learn in the real world. From Ma'am Lu Abiasarol, I learned the integration more meaningful across learning areas. For nationalism touch the emotion of our learners and differentiate it to our present situation. From Ma'am Ann Hilario Zaminio naman po, holistic approach integration is very important for our learners for them to express themselves in teaching and learning in Araling Panlipunan. And from Ma'am Glory naman, I have learned the importance of various teaching strategies in encouraging self-confidence of our learners. Thank you, sir. From Sir F.J. Bolido naman, relevant and meaningful learnings are the main goal of these approaches, and integrating various lessons to various subjects enhance greater knowledge and skills of our students. From Ma'am Sheila Elmido naman, she shared, I learned that in teaching, I should consider every aspect to become a well-rounded individual and effective in teaching. From Sir Jojo naman, integration is very important in teaching because it can enhance students' understanding and enhance more holistic perspective. But I think I saw a question here from Sir Joey T. Dinopol. How do we assess student learning when the focus shifts from one subject matter to the other? Again, allow me to read the question once again from Sir Joey. How do we assess student learning when the focus shifts from one subject to the other? Dr. Carlino?
That's okay, thank you. Maybe you're referring to the integration process, no? Let me give you an example because you are integrating something. Like, for example, I'll give you an example in our institution. Here at PNU, we have what we call the capstone project. The capstone project, we integrate understanding the self. We have also what do you call this? We have also purposive communication. Okay, and the other courses. How do we integrate? In the content, this subjects, they have their own focus of assessing. Like, for example, they present a capstone project, like stage play. In the stage play, if I am the subject teacher or the teacher in understanding the self, my only focus is content. The content. Okay? Because the topic is in line with understanding the self. For purposive sampling, purposive communication, they were in charge, the students under that course, they were in charge of writing the proposal and making the narrative reports. So you see, there is a separate rubric on that. They will do one presentation, only one, because you integrated it. But the other subjects, they have their own way of assessing depending on what is required in that particular subject. So that's how we assess. We don't have a common assessment for all the subjects. It's also different kasi magkakaiba siya. Kaya lang, ano yung na-integrate doon? Nagkaroon ng integration because isang project na lang ang bata. At the end of the term, isa lang ang gagawin nila, pero nandun na ang lahat ng subjects nila na kinuha nila during that term. Okay? Nag-integrate. Ang assessment, iba-iba, kasi iba-iba ang hinahanap ng bawat subject doon sa isang presentation nila. I hope I answered your question. So, kasi di ba ang purpose natin ng integration maging holistic. Holistic ang approach niya. Okay? Holistic, and they learned also something in the preparation, in the process of preparing it. Remember, ano mga ini-emphasize natin? Initiative, kasi holistic nga. Research, they will also conduct their research. How are they going to present their play? Okay? And they will talk, they will manage their team, they manage their group mates, and everything. So, nagiging holistic siya and integrative siya in that manner. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Sir, sino po yun, Ma'am Apo? Si Sir?
Joey. Sir Joey po.
Sir Joey po.
So we have
I hope
further
I answered.
question here, Dr. Carlino, from RD
Sige po.
Zerimar Oizrazor, led. How can we effectively reteach history gaps? How can we effectively reteach history gaps?
Okay. In teaching, who asked the question?
RD Zerimar Oirazor, led. That's
Andyan
the
ba siya?
FB name po, sir. RD.
History gaps. You can still use integrative approaches. you can use different lens. Why we have history gaps. Okay? You can use the lenses of the various social sciences if uh, if you want to really explain, okay, the the rudiments of history gaps or the various concerns or the different issues in that. So, yun lang yung simple way ko siguro on how are going to reteach that. You can still use holistic approach or integrative approach. Uh, for us kasi, these perspectives will help you look into the different issues and different concerns of this history gap. Do you have other questions? Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Dr. Carlino. And going further with our simple ways, Ma'am Lorleen A. Anios raised, how could we integrate our subject to student real-life situation aside from asking question? What are other approach can we use? Again, from Ma'am Lorleen Anios. How can we integrate our subject to student real-life situation aside from asking questions? So she's asking for other approaches po.
Okay, how can we integrate uh again, I'm sorry.
Asking for other approach in teaching our subject to the real life situation of the students aside from asking questions from them po.
You can ask them to share their experiences. So you don't necessarily ask questions, but at least share. Although when you ask to share, no, just share. You can make it okay. Can you share your experiences? What are you experiencing at the moment? It's still a question, but that's another way, no, narrative presentation of their experiences, and from there, narrative presentation, from there, you can now synthesize or relate that to the lesson. So you don't ask them anymore. It's you who will process already relating their experiences to the lesson through their narratives. Kaya nga, pwedeng they can write or they can share orally their experiences, and then ikaw na yung you can ikaw na yung gagawa ng question na pwedeng hindi sa kanya dun sa nag-share kasi 'di ba sabi mo ayaw mong gamitin ang question for that particular person, but you can synthesize now yung experiences niya at ikaw as teacher na ang mag-relate doon sa lesson base sa kanyang narration. So, pwedeng hindi ka na magtanong doon. Magkakaroon na yun ng ano agad-agad yun. Tawag dito, i-explain mo na agad-agad yun using their experiences. Okay?
Now, to go to another side of your topic, Doc, Marvin Sucaldito Calagunay asks, is it necessary to give critical thinking activities to those non-reader grade 7 learners? Again, Sir Marvin raised, is it necessary to give critical learning activities to those non-reader grade 7 learners?
Okay. Kasi this is my answer to the question, no? This is my personal answer to the question. Ang critical thinking, it's not just through writing. Right? So you can ask them orally. They cannot read, but I think they can speak naman. They are non-readers. Does it mean na hindi sila pwedeng magsalita? They can speak. And you can actually use their own language or yung dialect nila or their own language to still develop their critical thinking skills. It's still possible. Non-reader, pero oral pwede. Bakit? Ibig bang sabihin, Kapag non-reader ako, bakit I don't have that critical thinking skill? Bakit marami din naman na no read nor write, pero pag kausap mo ay parang matalino yung kausap mo. So, you can utilize conversation. Conversation. So, maging parang recitation ang labas niya. And through your questions, nag-iisip ang mga bata. Nag-iisip sila pag nagtatanong ka. Okay? Nag-iisip sila pag nagtatanong ka. Kaya nga, pwede pa rin. Kahit non-reader siya. Pwede, basta nagsasalita, yun yung condition ko. Basta nagsasalita, wag lang non-reader, tapos hindi rin nagsasalita, hindi mo rin makausap kahit sa dialect niya. Kasi pwede pa rin namang i-develop, take note of this, pwede i-develop ang critical thinking pa rin orally. Pwede, at mas effective pa nga kapag gamit mo ang kanilang lengguwahe, lalo na non-reader siya. Siyempre, non-reader siya, pero nagsasalita naman siya. So, gamitin mo yung kanya. Di ba remember, sa holistic education, you have to consider also yung ability niya, yung kakayahan niya, hanggang saan yung kakayahan niya. Pero it doesn't mean na kapag non-reader ay totally wala ka nang magagawa to develop critical thinking. Actually, pwede mong pang gamitin yon sa pagtatanong sa kanya para ma-motivate siya na mag-aral mabuti hanggang siya na ay makapagbasa. Okay? Pwede mo siyang gamiting motivation to help that person to really devote time para until such time na maging reader na siya, umalis na siya dun sa area ng mga non-readers. I hope this is just my answer. You may have other answers for that, pero this is how I answer the question. Okay? Remember, sa mga mostly sa mga tanong nyo naman ay wala siyang yung iba. I'm just trying to relate it to holistic in education and to my experiences as well. Pero kung meron kayong definite na sagot, you may share also in our thought box or you may have other answers. Doon sa mga tanong kanina, kung kayo po ay may mga sagot din at you go against my answer, just type in the chat box. Chat box in the comment section. It's okay po. You may just share. Remember, sinasabi natin sa holistic education, naging open tayo. Nagkamali tayo, part of the process, medyo may mali sinabi, part of the process. So pag ganon, ang klase mo at ang environment mo, more students will participate and you will increase student engagement if that's the case. Na hindi lang ikaw yung magaling, kundi marami din, mga estudyante mo din magagaling. At ako, I believe na yung mga nasa FB live session ngayon, marami din dyan mas magaling. That's why I am encouraging you as well to share your answers to the questions so that others can also read your answers and learn also from you, not just from me. Okay, thank you. Do we still have other questions?
Yes, Doc. In relation to the productive manner of expressing our critical thinking skills, Sir Vandolph de la Cruz Bagol asked, how can we use storytelling and real-life connections to make history lessons more engaging for learners? Once again, from Sir Vandolph, how can we use storytelling and real-life connections to make history lessons more engaging for learners?
How can we make, when you deliver, kasi dati, actually, kwento ko kanina, dati pag nagtuturo ng history, ang mga nagtuturo ng history dati sa Villa, or ng Araming Panlipunan, noong panahon nito, on March 16, ganun sila magturo. Alam nyo, ang isang ginawa ko is para kang nagkukwento, tapos may emosyon. Alam nyo ba nung panahon na ganito? May nangyari, yung gagawin mo siyang storytelling, tapos, di ba sa storytelling, theatrical ang labas niya, at makikinig sa'yo. Kung kaya mo pang gawin, another suggestion, na ginagawa ito dun sa isang isang elementary teacher sa Ateneo dati, sa isang conference na attendan ko, kung ano yung topic na minsan, nagko-costume din siya. Halimbawa, about Cory Aquino, nagko-costume siya ng Cory Aquino costume. Then, sinasabi niya, ninanarrate niya yung ano. And then, yung pagkwento mo, lagyan mo siya ng emosyon. Storytelling, lagyan mo siya ng emosyon. Di ba ganoon naman sa storytelling? Gawin mo siya ng emosyon. And then, tawag dito, meron ka din parang mga, di ba, pag yung sa teatro, may mga sigaw, may mga ano, as in, gawin mo siyang exaggerated, parang sa ganun, yung attention will be with you, especially kapag grade 7, mas gustong-gusto ng mga grade 7 yan. Yung pakwento, no? Okay? In that manner, itry mo. Kapag ganun ang pag-present mo nung history or yung nung topic, ask mo sila at the end, they remember a lot because of that. So, anong idadagdag mo doon? Lagyan mo ng emosyon. The storytelling, no? Lagyan mo siya ng emosyon. Kasi yung iba nagbabasa lang eh. Pero, or kung kaya mong gawin, gawan mo siya ng parang script na may nagsasagutan. Pwede rin doon. Okay? I hope I answered your question. Do we still have questions po?
It seems that wala na pong additional questions, but our participants are raising na we are very satisfied with your response po, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So meron din nag-comment dito si Ma'am May Iris Pitogo Lahay-Lahay. Ginagawa ko po iyan, teaching with animation when it comes to the storytelling and real life connection. Sarili ko po ang animation mismo. So we become Miss Rachel. Thank you po, dear speaker. God bless you more po.
Thank you.
Cool, sir. Thank you very much. I will do it in my class, Story with Emotions. Sir Ivan raised in relation to storytelling. Storytelling at the same time, gallery walk with contextualized, contextualization. Contextualized visuals. Ayan. To be exact. Storytelling at the same time, gallery walk with contextualized visuals.
Siguro yung contextualized visuals niya, ma'am, yung history, binigyan niya ng touch ng modern.
Pwede.
Parang mukha ni Rizal, tapos may modern touch siya. Contextualized.
Thank you, dear speaker, for the brilliant ideas. But I think there is one question here raised by Sir Khalid D. Daoud. Let me read the question, sir. How can we effectively incorporate comprehensive sexuality education within a culturally sensitive context, ensuring that topics with sensitive or potentially controversial language are introduced thoughtfully and appropriately? Again, how can we effectively incorporate comprehensive sexuality education with a culturally sensitive context, ensuring that topics with sensitive or potentially controversial language are introduced thoughtfully and appropriately?
That's a very challenging question because of the term cultural. Cultural, we need to consider our culture when we teach about sexuality. And how? The question is how? Let's do it gradually. Let's do it gradually because we know that our culture is really sensitive to that kind of topic. So, gradual, mga paisa-isa, ganon. Although sinasabi nila ngayon dapat hindi. Pero, paano yung kultura? Di ba sa pagtuturo, isa sa mga bagay na dapat mong i-consider din ay ang kultura ng mga tao. At hindi tayo katulad ng ibang nasyon na kung saan they can directly talk about that. Although sinasabi ngayon, we have to do that. Pero we can do that, siguro, gradually, huwag biglaan. And I think in the kind of education that we have right now, we are doing that gradually, hindi din siya biglaan. So, pati sa mga terms, di ba, ayaw nilang gumamit ka ng mga euphemism. Gusto nila direct. Pero kultura, di ba sinasabi din naman natin sa Araling Panlipunan, respeto ang kultura. Kung sa perspektibo ng Araling Panlipunan na dapat irespeto ang kultura, dahan-dahanin natin hanggang tuloy na nating matanggap ang mga bagay na yon. For the meantime, yun lang muna sa tingin ko, sa tingin ko ang pwedeng gawin. Although alam ko na ang sinasabi ng iba hindi, dapat direct na lahat ang pagtuturo. Yun lang aking maaaring isagot. Thank you.
Okay. So, other teachers are asking about other approaches. This time naman po, Ma'am Mary Patricia Cardanio Camo is asking about the rubric. Good morning, sir. Is it possible to create a holistic rubric for all, or it is always better to have a separate rubric per target discipline? Thank you so much po. She's asking about holistic rubric or specific separate rubric per target discipline.
Okay. Rubrics is actually not part of my topic, pero kailangan magkaroon ng holistic. Ang approach natin in teaching and helping our students is holistic, no? Pero in the rubric, because ang bawat subject, remember, ang bawat subject may hinahanap din siyang competency. Correct? Although ang approach natin is holistic, pero you still need to address yung competency na hinahanap ng isang subject. So in terms of rubrics, it's good to have a separate rubrics kasi nakadepende ang rubrics mo doon sa hinihingi ng subject. Yung sample ko kayo na, for example, ang hinihingi ng about sa English ay they need to write properly a proposal, di ba? Na tinuturo ko. Halimbawa sa Araling Panlipunan, yung content ang inaano ko. Yun naman, so hindi po pwedeng general yung gagamitin kasi may competency akong ina-address, may competency din siyang ina-address. In terms of rubrics pero hindi ka pinipigilan na kung saan gamitin mo pa rin ang holistic or integrative approaches in teaching for the students to be lang. Bakit? Kasi sabi ko nga, may iba-iba kasing ina-address ang bawat subject. Na yun dapat ang basihan mo to give them a grade. Okay? Yung holistic siguro, kung very general lang, halimbawa, yung pag-present lang nila, pare-parehas, kaya lang, nawawala yung essence ng other subjects, but can integrate. Okay? Katulad ng sample ko kanina, di ba? Essay, tapos ang topic mo sa Aral Panlipunan Nationalism. Pwede ba na yung rubrics ko sa paggawa ng essay, gamitin mo din sa essay yung sa nationalism, ay ang after ko is that yung kanyang thoughts. So, iba din. So, depth of reflection ako, ikaw naman, proper way of writing an essay. Okay po? Salamat po sa tanong. Sana nasagot ko. And if you have other answers to my question, just type in there so that they can read. And sasabihin lang dun, sir, I have a suggestion. Lagyan nyo lang dun. Take note, this is a learning session. This morning is a learning session. You learn from me, I also learn from you. Okay? At sa Araling Panlipunan, ang isang bagay na dapat nakikita sa atin, we are all open-minded. Pag nagkamali, aminin. Pag may mga mas magandang idea, tanggapin. Tama? Tanggapin at gamitin natin, matututo tayong lahat. Yun yung isang environment. Di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina, we have to create an environment wherein they can really participate. Pero pag sinasabi ko, okay, ako lang tama, kayo mali. Sa tingin nyo, magpa-participate pa kayo pag ganun ng aking approach? No. Because as I said, ang learning session, no? Ang learning, it's a two-way process palagi yan. It's a two-way process. I always tell my students, you learn from me, I also learn from you. And I learn also a lot from them, from my student. At doon ay kailangan maramdaman nila inside their class para ma-increase ang student engagement. At kapag na-increase ang student engagement, mas magpa-participate sila, mas magtatanong sila, mas sasagot sila, at in that process, mas magiging holistic ang kanilang development at ang kanilang critical and creative skills or creativity mas ma-develop. Okay, thank you po.
Thank you, Dr. Carlino. Indeed, we are gearing towards having safe learning environment wherein we share and we learn from our students. But it seems that Ma'am Cutie would like to know some examples of alternative ways for students to participate in the lesson if they don't feel comfortable sharing their experiences. Even if we already have safe learning environment where we provide friendly discussion with the students, but there are still students who don't feel comfortable sharing their experiences. So, Ma'am Cutie is asking for alternative ways on how to deal with them po.
Okay, alam nyo kung ano naisip ko ngayon? Kasi mga ano yan mga Generation Z. Alam nyo ang pwede nyo gawin? Na ginagawa ko sa klase ko? Group chat. Alam nyo ba na maraming hindi nag-recite sa klase ko? Pero anong ginagawa ko? Nagpo-post ako sa group chat ng tanong. They will answer that. So walang nasi-zero sa recitation sa klase ko. Kasi yung sagot nila sa group chat, ino-consider ko as their recitation. And that's alternative sa mga ayaw mag-share orally or in the class. That's an alternative na pwede kong ma-share sa'yo na ginagawa ko. And they are very active, really, sa group chat. Ang sinasabi ko pa ganito, karamihan kayo ng sagot sa tanong na yan. At may time. At alam nyo doon, yung mga hindi nag-recite sa klase, sila yung mga mauuna kasi gusto nila, ay, oo nga, hindi nag-recite sa klase. Dito naman, at ayokong magsalita kasi nahihiya ako, ayokong masabi na mali sinasabi ko. So doon na lang. Doon kasi, they can edit muna, di ba? Nakikita nila, na-check nila kasi yung iba ayaw mag-check kasi ayaw magkamali. So, that's I think, may modern way, alternative. Hindi man itinuturo pa yan sa libro o sa ano-ano. Pero matagal ko nang ginagawa yan, especially during the pandemic. Ginagamit ko ang group chat for recitation. And you can even ask my students that they are doing that. Alam mo, isa para maging interesting pa, ginawa ko sa group chat, ganito. Ang topic, for example, nationalism. Tapos, gamamit ng Filipino, ilabas o i-state ang inyong konsepto or ang inyong reaction about nationalism or your concept or ideas about nationalism in a hugot form. So maglalagay sila mga hugot nila, pero nationalism siya. Di ba? Exciting yung iba doon, maglalagay talaga ng marami. Okay? So these are the alternatives na pwede natin gawin ngayon using technology naman. Using technology. So, walang nasi-zero sa recitation at lahat, they have all the opportunity to share. Ngayon, kung gusto mo namang pwede din na yung pwede din yun. Inside the class, kung ayaw nilang mag-share in the class with the group. Okay? Thank you. I hope I was able to give you another Sana mag-comment siya kung okay ba sa kanya yung Or the others, may comment, are you doing that? Nagpapa-recite ba kayo sa GC? Para, ang point natin, di ba? Point natin dito is lahat mag-participate sa klase. And that is another approach that we can apply so that we can encourage maximum participation, we can encourage or increase student engagement. Thank you.
Actually,
Meron
sir,
pa ba, ma'am?
one participant shared na ginagawa ko ang learning interaction GC. Encourage ko rin sila to participate class discussion via Gmail. So, other teachers are doing what you're doing also as well.
Okay, that's good. That's why it's good that they are also sharing kasi na-emphasize na hindi lang ako gumagawa, marami pa. So it means kung maraming gumagawa, pwede din gawin yung iba. So you can encourage more to utilize that. Kasi ang purpose natin dito ay ma-increase ang student engagement. Kasi parang yung mga estudyante yung hindi masyadong participative inside the class, at least meron silang other ways no to participate on medium or para bang that they can still be part of the class even though in public they can't do that. Kasi remember, anong sinasabi natin? In holistic education, we consider their individuality. Okay? So thank you, ma'am. Meron
Thank
pa ba,
you,
ma'am?
Dr. Carlino. I
Asya
guess
tayo.
that concludes our question and answer session, and we have gained so much insights and learnings from your experiences. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating master classmates sa aktibong pakikilahok sa ating question and answer session. Ang inyong mga makukulay at masisinop na katanungan ay tunay na nagpapakita ng inyong dedikasyon sa pagkatuto at pag-unlad bilang pangunahing tagapagtaguyod ng edukasyon sa ating bansa. Nakatutuwa po na makita ang ganitong klaseng paglahok mula sa bawat isa. Maraming salamat din po, Dr. Carlino. Maraming salamat for sharing your invaluable insights. Ang inyong kasanayan at kahandaan magbahagi ng kaalaman ay lubos na pinahahalagahan ng bawat isa sa atin dito ngayon. Tuwang-tuwa po kami na nagkaroon kami ng pagkakataon na matuto po mula sa inyo at even mula sa ating mga partisipante. Magbigay po tayo ng isa pang virtual palakpakan para sa ating resource speakers and para din sa ating mga sarili dahil umabot po tayo until 11:48 na actively participating and listening to the discussion of Dr. Carlino G. Santos Jr. And we would like to remind po, because participants are asking about the attendance link. So our attendance link po is based on our daily evaluation. So we don't send any link outside from the official DepEd Davao City FB page. Doon lang po namin sinesend yung attendance link which is in the form of daily evaluation. So when you answer the daily evaluation, that serves as your daily attendance po. And you will answer that right after the end of this day one morning discussion. Huwag po kayong sumagot sa mga link na sinisend sa comment section if hindi yan siya galing sa DepEd Davao City Division. That's why do not forget, like, share this video, and also like the FB page of the DepEd Davao City para dun yung makuha yung official links for daily attendance or daily evaluation as well as the links for our live sessions. Any other reminders? So I guess we've had so much enrichment this morning session, and everyone is also excited to have their afternoon session. But before that, let's take a break and let's have a lunch break. Now the team is posting the evaluation link in our FB page, DepEd Davao City Division. Tomorrow, since that's the day 2 of our training, we will have another evaluation link for day 2. So please, if you're done evaluating for day 1, and we also encourage you to please be generous with your reflection because as it is said, feedback is the breakfast of the champion. And we are championing this education, the reforms of DepEd, if you are providing rich, insightful feedback from the discussion in today's session. So please see the link in our FB page, evaluate honestly and truthfully, giving your insights. And tomorrow, we will have another evaluation link. Maraming salamat sa inyong paglahok sa session natin ngayon. We would also like to give our appreciation to Dr. Carlino G. Santos Jr. for being our resource speaker for this morning's session. Thank you very much, sir. And as we continued success in your endeavors as educators, we look forward to seeing you in our next session tomorrow morning. And of course, we have our masterclass session for kindergarten grade 1, 4, and 7 in all learning areas for this afternoon, which will focus on Araling Panlipunan grade 4. Ako ang inyong tagapagtagulod ngayong umagang ito. This is your host for this morning. I am Ma'am Apple May Tanyega from Davao City Division, Daniel R. Aguinaldo National High School. Maraming salamat po. Kita kayo ngayong hapon.